Do you like to thrift? Do you like to sort through other people's chaos? Do you like to find good bargains? Do you like to find antiques? If any of those answers are yes, or if you are interested in hearing about where I went, what I saw, and what I found, and what I bought, stay tuned. Grab you a project, grab you a drink, and join me. Good morning. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and I'm glad you're here. Whether you're new, you're a returning viewer, regardless, I appreciate the time that you hang out with me. Today, we are going to discuss the good, bad, and the ugly of thrift shopping. It is going to be a quick video, probably because we have to address one of the bad parts. Here, as soon as I finish filming this video, we have to travel about an hour and 15 to 20 minutes away to... Alright, while we were thrifting, we went to 5 different places. But while we were thrifting, my grandson lost his glasses. He said he had put them in his pocket. Now, for those of you who don't know, my grandson is 6 years old. But he lost his glasses. And he says he put them in his pocket, and we've called the different thrift stores. We can't find them. Well, recently we had taken him up to the eye doctor and got him a new script. But for some reason, his insurance, my son's insurance, doesn't pay for glasses every year. They should for a growing child. I disagree with it. They say that the frames are supposed to last 2 years. Okay, say you have a 6-month-old or a 1-year-old child that needs glasses. They can't wait till they're 2 or 3 years old to get another pair. Or, you know, if they're 6 months, they can't wait till 3. Or if they're 1, they can't wait till 3. Their heads grow. So anyway, they didn't have any cheaper alternatives that my daughter-in-law liked at the eye doctor. So he did like a frame at Walmart, but that required us driving all the way back, buying the frames, and then we have to take them to Winsboro, which is where his eye doctor is. Or our eye doctor is, because he sold his closer location. So anyway, we're gonna have to go take the frames so that they can get them sent to the lab. But so yesterday was a very impromptu visit to thrift stores up in Lexington, because we've hit the ones here in Aiken. Because I found those gorgeous Corningware for cheap. But anyway, so we went, and because I called my daughter-in-law, or I texted my daughter-in-law and I said, what do you want to do for your birthday? Do you want to, because we celebrated her birthday Sunday, we had ribs and everything that she had wanted. She wanted to grill ribs, or my son to grill ribs, and us have a cookout for her birthday. So we did that. But yesterday I said, what do you want to do for your birthday? Do you want to go thrifting? Do you want to go buy you some cubes? Because she bought some 9 cubes shelves like I did. She bought one from my son for her birthday. But she wanted 2. And the store we had went to didn't have both. So they were just at Walmart. But anyway, I said, do you want to go thrifting? Do you want to go get another 9 cubes shelf? Do you want to go out to lunch? What do you want to do for your birthday? And she's like, all of that sounds good. I said, okay, then let's go. So we did. And she said, she didn't really want to do Aiken. Well, we had taken some donated items to a thrift store that helps single mothers. in their time of need with housing and whatnot. I don't know if their DV, you know, I don't know if that, the domestic violence, I don't know if that was part of their story or not. I just know that they help single mothers. So we took a lot of stuff from her house and my house, from Brantley's outgrowing and, you know, possibly not having another grandson or grandchild from them. She didn't want to keep all this stuff. Now, I still have a good chunk of Brantley's baby stuff that I'm not throwing away in hopes, you know. But some things that needed to be moved, like his toddler bed, the outgrown car seats, and, you know, things like that. Because it used to be that car seats had an expiration date because of the plastic and the wear and tear and the heat and everything. But now they have manufacturer dates. So, you know, they can go by that and decide, since they were accident free, and one of them was a stroller carrier combo that really didn't see the light of day in the car as far as heat, because it, you know, it carried him. But anyway, we took all that, and when we took that, it was a my daughter-in-law forgot the screws and stuff. So we needed to go to Aiken, but we didn't. We went to Lexington instead. We went to several different places. And I will say this. I'm going to show you what I found, and then I'm going to talk about the other stuff. Now, I actually found this particular model at the very last one we went to. Okay? And I'm going to try. You're going to have to forgive me. I'm going to have to stand up to move it, but I'm going to try to slide it into the frame here because, oops, it is heavy. And my back is not that good. Alright, so, as you can guess, you probably already can guess what this big beauty is. But, let me tell you, and I don't even know the year at the moment, because I was going to research all this today, but my grandson decided to lose his classes, and it rearranged our entire day. So, I know you only see the back of this, but let me see if I can turn it around so I can show you. Well, you see the back. You see the hoping you see the motor, because I can't lift it. I'm just kind of scooching it around. Oh, and look at this foot pedal, y'all. That is old. I mean, it's not old, but it's not as old as my Singers, but all right. So this little beauty right here reminded me of a car. And it is not going to show. All right. Let me see here. All right. So, you might not see me, but maybe not. If it cuts my head off, I'm not worried about it. Actually, I'm going to be standing up while I show you. To me, this kind of looks like, and it even has an emblem. This is a Kenmore. It is a Kenmore, I don't know what kind. I have to try to do some research on it, but it reminds me of the older cars. You know, that kind of reminds me of a speedometer or something, or the radio dial. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure you know what I mean. In the 70s, the 60s and 70s. And as a 70s baby, I can appreciate it. And I'm going to show you. Now, I do have to take out the bobbin. Alright, I took this off yesterday. Actually, I think my daughter-in-law took this off yesterday. I opened it, but she couldn't get it. I couldn't get it off, so she ended up getting it off. And I will figure out a way to lift this without... See, it's hanging up on the, oh, there it goes. There it goes. It was hanging up on the little plastic piece. Let me grab the bobbin out. Alright. It came out fine yesterday. Hold on a moment. She couldn't get it out, so I got it out, and then I put it back in, and now it's just not wanting to come out. Was not having all this technical difficulty yesterday, I promise. Oh, my finger got stuck. I promise it's not this hard normally. And the bobbin fell out of the bobbin case. Okay. I'm pretty sure the bottom of this case comes off because it looks like there's hinges here. Oh, yeah, there's hinges. Okay. Let me retrieve my bobbin. Oh. Okay, so okay, here we go. Here's the model number and the serial number. I knew it was around here somewhere. And my shirt is catching on everything. But look at that. Look how good that looks under there, y'all. You never see something looking this tidy and this good. I don't even think I'm gonna have to oil it, y'all. I really don't. I mean, it looks pristine in there. I am so much more excited about this now than I was earlier. All right, did I set my bobbin case down somewhere? I don't see it in here. I don't see it on the thing here anywhere, unless it fell over. All right, so now I can clip that back into place. Oh, here it is. Okay. So it has a multi-thread on the bobbin, but I'll take that off. All right, so I took this out at the thrift store, and I asked the gentleman if we could plug it in to test it. And it worked. And I'm going to show y'all. So if you need to take off your headphones, take out your AirPods, or just control your volume in any way, now's the time to do it. Because I don't remember how loud this thing is. But I'm just going to show you. Now, nothing is threaded, okay? But listen. Well, not that loud. I just smelled a little smell, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't anything to worry about, and it's not. All right, so I'm going to unplug it. And I just wanted to show y'all what I found. And I'm so stinking tickled because, alright, so it says on the back here, it says Sears and Roebuck and Company, Kenmore, of course, because, you know, Kenmore is a Sears product. Model 1120. My wind chimes are singing to me. But I'm so excited over this thing. Now, it does have, okay, so the Kenmore that I gave my daughter-in-law has one like this. But you know what? I did not test this when I had it plugged in. And I will have to find out how to turn the light on. Usually, oh, wait. I bet you that was it. Hold on. I'll find out later. I don't want to take up all of y'all's time with just trying to, but, and the bobbin thread, it looks like it's in here instead of on the top where my newer model sits. But this is not the only one we found. we found 2 others. All right, now that I have shown y'all that, I'm going to leave that bobbin out. And I'm going to slide this back over here. Well, I'm going to kind of slide it to beside me. And try to fix y'all. Forgive me if it's not quite right. I don't like moving my camera in mid video, but I do apologize for that. I will try if I'll try to edit that out, but I don't know that I can. But anyway, when I looked at this little beauty, I'm thinking there is so much. I mean, do y'all see? I don't know if you can see it. No, you probably can't. But anyway, just the look of it. Now, yes, there's some blemishes on the paint, okay? I'm not even worried about that. I'm going to leave everything as it is. But this is a viable working machine, I think. Now, I probably overpaid for what the value of it is, because it's vintage, but it's not an antique in the way I think of antiques. My Singers, they're antique. They're in the turn of the century, you know. The Kenmore that I gave my daughter-in-law and the machine that my mother-in-law gave me, those are 70s. And I'm thinking this might be around that time. But to me, those aren't antiques, because I'm not an antique and I was in the 70s, right? So, anyway, but though, you know, a half a century old, I guess it could be antique-ish. I don't know. I don't know the rules or the stipulations for those classifications. But let me tell you, I was so sticking excited. Now, we did find 2 other ones. One was a Singer so-and-something 758 model. At the very first place we went, it was a cabinet unit, but it didn't have a power cord. It was one that, you know, you pull out of the cabinet and you set it down. And it was probably around mid-70s, maybe up to the early 80s. I don't know. It's a 758 touch and sew, or sew and touch, or I don't know. I'll have to, it's on my phone because I searched up for the power cord, but I couldn't find a power cord that fit that particular setup because it had three holes. So we turned that one down. We probably could have got that for cheap. Then we found this one, and I ended up paying $35 for this. I don't think $35 is a bad deal for an older machine that works. There might be some tension tweaks that I have to do. I haven't even tried it, okay? We literally got home last night, ate dinner. I sat in my recliner for a little while, worked on my animal squares, which are coming along, by the way. They're coming along. I worked on those and, you know, got up this morning, kept working on some more squares. And then I realized we need to go ahead, since we did backtrack to those thrift stores to try to find my grandson's eyeglasses, but we couldn't find them. So I was like, I texted my daughter-in-law, I was like, do you want me to run his frames up to the eye doctor? Because, you know, that's a trip my daughter-in-law just, you know, it's a long, it's, like I said, it's about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes one way, so it kind of takes a minute. And she's like, no, I was just thinking that we needed to run up there, so we will run up there. And in making that decision, I needed to go ahead and get ready to walk out the door so that when I'm finished filming, we can leave. So I have had zero time. I have not made any time to research this. Let me clarify that. But y'all, could you imagine? I know I don't need any more sewing machines, okay? But, I mean, all of this started like a year or so ago when I bought that turn-of-the-century Singer with the treadle. Because I wanted that one because I thought my grandmother's was lost to me because my brother had it. Well, it turns out that I now have that unit, and so that means in my possession. Now, the Kenmore I have gifted to my daughter-in-law, so I don't consider that in my collection. It's collection adjacent. But in my physical possession, I have the two Singers. I have the one my mother-in-law gave me, and I think it's, when I looked up underneath it, it said Fabric Master, so I don't know 100% if that's the brand or if that's, just the manufacturer. I don't know yet. So that's 3. Then now I have this Kenmore. That's 4. I have Sally, Bella, which is 6, and the Beast. The Beast is a serger, but to me it's still a sewing machine. So, oh, pardon me, that is 7. Okay, so at the same place, I saw another cabinet unit. And it was the brand it had on there, it was Universal. So I don't know what that is. But it also said, it did warn you that it needed a belt. I wasn't worried about a belt. But looking it over, it was very abused. They were only wanting $20 for it in the cabinet, And I thought, no, I don't think I want to do that. Because I had already had this one in the buggy. I knew this one worked. I was over the moon excited for a Kenmore. And I didn't know anything about universals. Now watch, I may regret that. If I do research and find out that the universal would have been a great find, I can probably go up there today or tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. If I find out that it is a good find. But, regardless, I don't need any more machines, y'all. But just think about it. For Bella, I would love to make a desk. I know I can buy one. But I would love to make a desk to where she sinks down to where everything's level. Okay? This is great, but this is very limited as far as flatness that I want. Now, I would have to have like a spring lever or something like that to where I could lift her back up so that when I need to sew my bags and stuff, I have access to underneath the arm. Or I can leave Bella for all her beautiful glory on top and do a desk for Sally or the Kenmore here. I don't know. I have to work with this and see if it has a personality. I named Bella before I ever used her, but she was brand new and she was so beautiful. So Bella, Sassy Sally. Yeah, she's So I'm going to have to use the Kenmore and run it through all of its paces. And if a name comes to me, a name comes to me. The Beast, it's a beast. It's a serger. So I'm going to see if this one actually acquires a name. It might not. I don't name it all my inanimate objects, y'all. I promise. I don't do it. So we'll see. See what happens with this. But I do want to do some research and find out. I don't know if she's driving or I'm driving. Usually one of us drives there and one of us drives home, so that kind of breaks up the monotony of the drive, and the other can, crochet or knit, whatever. I love that me and my daughter-in-law are best friends because we share so many things. But I wanted to share this with y'all because I cannot tell you how stinking excited I was when I saw it. 3 vintage machines in one day. Who would have thought? So that told me the universe was saying I needed another machine. I can't deny the universe, right? It's kind of like I adopted it, right, Meredith? It's not yarn. It's not fabric. But, oh, I'm so excited to get started on this baby. What I think I'm going to do, just to see what the current situation is when I get time, it won't be today. And I wanted to go see my niece and my new great nephew today too. But since it rained yesterday or late last night, I can't burn stump piles. So it's actually a great day to go away. Yesterday was a great day to burn stump piles, but my daughter-in-law and her birthday outing came first, always. So today would have been a perfect day to burn stumps had it not rained. So since it rained last night and I can't burn the stumps, I thought I was going to go to my niece's house to visit my great nephew. Well, then my grandson's glasses haven't turned up, so we have to go get those because it's going to take probably a week, maybe a week and a half for my eye doctor to get them back from the lab. So that's that situation. But now back to talking about the thrift stores real quick. When I mean good, bad, and the ugly, some is appearance, some is smell. You know, if you've been in thrift stores, some is the smell. Some is what I would term bougie or overpriced. Now, if it's a good curated type thing, I understand you actually having a value price on it. The item's value is significantly shown in the price. But I can also say this. It is a thrift store. So you should not be asking collectors' prices if you're running a thrift store. And maybe it's just the mentality, because when I go thrift store shopping, I'm going to look for little treasures that I can find at a decent price or even at a bargain basement price. That doesn't mean that I'm always going to find the bargain basement price at a thrift store, but I kind of expect that. Now, I also know that if it is a curated type store and it's not a donation-based store, you do run the risk, because they have to buy these items and then they have to mark it up to cover their overhead. I know this. I've been in business for myself many times. So I understand this. Okay, I even had a thrift store at one time that was part curated and part donation. The only reason why it was donation is because it had been a thrift store prior to me that accepted donations, and people still kept bringing donations. So, you know, mainly it was clothing. The clothing was donated, but a lot of the other stuff I curated. So the clothing was $1 a piece, sometimes 25 cents a piece, depending on what it was. And then I would have sales to where, to get things moving, I would say as much as you can fill in this bag for $3. You know, but I had no money invested in that except for paying the people that worked for me to sort through the clothing, and I put them on racks and everything, color coordinated in women, men's, children's, and sizes and all that. So yes, I had money in that, but I didn't have money in purchasing it. So You know me, and you know my thing with Corningware. I like the French white with the lines. I can't remember exactly what that is, but that's the kind of Corningware I personally like. Yes, I think all of the Corningware is gorgeous and beautiful, but for my personal kitchen, that's basically the universal what I have going. Now, I do have some Corningware from my mother-in-law that doesn't fit that, but that's not going anywhere because that is family. That is. I sat down at my mother-in-law's table with those dishes, being used, so they're not going anywhere. And I did find there was one loaf pan, and it looked like it went with the Corningware that I have. But like I told my daughter-in-law, I didn't know, and it was a Corningware. For one, it was a little bit more than I would want to pay for a loaf pan. And if I never come across another loaf pan, then that's my loss. But what I'm really looking for is the ramekins. I would love to find, I don't even know if Corningware made the ramekins, but I would really like to find some ramekins. And I look for those, and it doesn't even have to be a Corningware. I seen some Pyrex, some clear Pyrex. I saw one, and then there were some oval ones at the place where I found this. And there was only 4 of them. There was 1 round and 3 oval. And I was like, I probably could have got them, but I didn't need to because they weren't exactly what I'm looking for. And if it takes me a couple years to find it, then it takes me a couple years to find it. In the meantime, I just don't have to do ramekins. But I would love to do like the little lava cakes. Of course, I won't eat any of these things, but I love to bake them. And my daughter-in-law didn't want a traditional cake. Can't blame her. I don't have cakes for my birthdays either. I'm just not a big cake person. If I do, it's going to be a very small sliver, or it's like a quarter of a cupcake. Yeah, I'm just not a big cake eater. But she wanted cheesecake, and my husband and both my sons. My grandson didn't care, but my sons and my husband are like, that's sacrilege. What are you doing to that cheesecake? Because she just wanted the cheesecake. She didn't like graham cracker crust. So I told her, I was like, well, if we look up and I find some ramekins today, I will make you cheesecake in the ramekins without the crust. And then I was like, but we could do an alternative crust. If we're going to make your cheesecake, we can do an alternate crust. And I said, you like Oreos, don't you? And she's like, well, I only like the cookie part of the Oreo. I don't like the cream. I said, perfect, because I was thinking about using crushed Oreo for the crust for her. But then I got to thinking about it. They sell that kind of flour that makes the Oreo cookies. So I could just do that and make it. But for the small scale that I will be making for her, I think it's better just to go grab a pack of Oreos, send them home with her or my son or something, because I don't need them. I will devour some Oreos. I do not need to devour Oreos. But I thought, if I found ramekins, we could do that. And because she's like, oh, I like the idea of the Oreo crust. We're going to have to do that. And I said, yeah, that was the purpose of me asking if, you liked the Oreo idea. So anyway, I didn't find ramekins that I was looking for. We did find a lot of junk, but that's typical at thrift stores. You just never know what you're going to see. And to some, this might be junk, but to me, this is a treasure. This is a good find. Yes, like I said, it does have blemishes, like here on the side. I can't show you at the moment, but it has some paint chipping on the side, and I'm gonna leave that. I might seal it with some clear acrylic to where it doesn't rust or anything, because we are in the South. Even though I am indoors, it is still the humidity does get up in here. It does. So I might, you know, just touch up even some clear fingernail polish just to kind of protect it. But I also have clear acrylic that I put on my nails that I could put on this. Or clear craft acrylic paint or something. I could put something on here that seals it and protects it and makes sure that it does not. Yeah. 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 I'm gonna get off here. Like I said, I need to. We need to go get. We need to get moving. But I really wanted to show y'all what I found. It was an impromptu trip, and the fact that I actually found something to show you was amazing to me. It's like the universe is going, hello, I got something for you. And I'm like, gimme, 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 because I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. And I'm excited to give it a go. So, I hope you've enjoyed my mostly talking, but showing, you know, thrift store find. And it is only a singular find. I bought a couple things for them. One, you know, my son had given me a few years a pasta maker, a roller, you know, to where you can roll your flour mixture through to make your pasta. Well, I had let my daughter-in-law use it. Actually, technically, I gave it to her because I could not have used it for pasta after I gave it to her because she was using it for her polymer clay. But she actually found, at this store, she found a polymer clay. It's a Sculpey. And it's a pasta maker just with a different name. And it was missing its handle, but she's got another handle, you know. So what she's going to do, she's going to take it apart and clean it. And I bought that for her. It was a whole $1. Which those things, the pasta version is like $30. I can't even imagine what the Sculpey brand for the polymer clay would even be. But we got it for $1. I mean, I bought those, and I bought a couple little things for the baby for $1 a piece. But this was what I truly bought, you know. And I did find a little donut baking pan that I gave to her. Well, I handed it to her, and I was like, look at this. And she's like, oh, she tucked that under her arm. She's like, I'm buying that. I said, okay. It's so cute. The little donut things are like that big, you know, teeny tiny. But I'm going to get off here. I have got to drink that because we're about to roll, and it's going to be a trip. But I will see you Friday with a surprising update on the animal squares, okay? I know y'all are probably getting tired of seeing the animal squares and all that jazz, but it's a surprise. So, come back Friday. On that note, I'm going to clean up this little area and put the case back on this baby. Actually, no, I'm going to probably leave it open. And when I get home, I'm going to do some research, wind the bobbin, and try to use it as it sits without any tweaking. When I looked up under there, now I did not look up under there yesterday, which is a bad thing on me. I should have looked underneath the hood. But I'm going to use it as it sits and see if it needs tweaking. Now, it may need some tension tweaking or something like that, and I have plenty of the metal bobbins because that's what Sassy Sally requires, because she has the same type of bobbin holder. And this may not even be a 70s model. I'm tempted to think it is, but I could be wrong. We're going to find out. And I might take you on the journey with me. I don't know yet. Or I might just kind of pepper it in with a video or two, you know, as I work with it and see what its quirks are and whatnot. But I'm going to go, and I hope that you have a wonderful midweek, or whenever you actually get to watch this. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget, try to find you a little bit of joy today. I'm definitely going to have mine. I'm going to be hanging out with my grandson and my daughter-in-law again for 2 days in a row, like all day. Because when we get back home, we're going to do a fish fry with tilapia and French fries, or fish and chips if you're in the UK, and go from there. We were supposed to do that last night, but by the time we got home, I was exhausted. My daughter-in-law was exhausted. My husband was tired. So nobody felt like cooking it. So we ended up cheating and getting Waffle House. So yeah, I am taking some advice. I am kind of letting my family get takeaway or getting takeout, you know, when I'm exhausted. So, but tonight it's going to be fried fish, which I know is not the best. But I might even broil mine, and French fries, which I can do sweet potatoes, because I have canned sweet potatoes from back in October when we canned all the sweet potatoes with a little sprinkling of taco seasoning. Oh, you have never had sweet potatoes like that in your life until you just sprinkle a little bit of taco seasoning over it, which I make my own. But anyway, enough food talk. I'm getting hungry and I gotta go. So I will see y'all in the next one. Until then, take care of you, okay? Bye.